Alright guys, I just want to make a video of a new set of Jupiter's electronics, 1-2 season electronics for you guys. And I want to show you what you get. Now this is the cheaper version where you get the static calibrate message. And what you get is you usually get the templates, which you see here. Um, you get the templates for all of the boards. You get the overlays, and they do have filters in them, red ones. Filters here, a couple filters there. You get your voice box, so everything is pretty much here. What we don't have is you don't have the countdown. I think he does include it, but I didn't get it in this set. But usually you get it, and you need the P and A P buttons, the power buttons, the red ones. Other than that, I think it's a pretty much complete set. There is some things I want to point out. His board looks about the same size as my 4 season electronics that I have. I'm pretty sure by looking at it that it's the same size. So he's never updated the boards, which he should by now. He should have made them at least an inch higher on both sides. Because he didn't do that, we got to go back to that method of adding little pieces of wood to extend it out so we can mount that to our dash. Because if we don't, we're going to see the screws from the opening of your Knight Rider dash opening. And we don't want to see the screws, not even one. So that's a problem in itself. Another thing is the voice box. He did update the lead pipes. They're no longer actual leads, they're mini leads. But his template, you can see, it's okay. It's like a sandwich piece. But the newer voice box that they came out, that they sell everywhere, it has, you can see the bezel piece that extends out. It's all one piece. The good thing is it's all one piece. Now this is 3 pieces, so you got 3 pieces to deal with on the install. So that can be kind of a pain in the butt. Essentially it's the same thing, except for this one is like glued together, all one piece. So if I was to glue that on the sides, it'd be one piece, kind of similar to that. So so there's 2 ways you can install it, or maybe 3. You can glue it together like that and do your cutout the way that shape is, and then mount it to your dash. Or because that doesn't have the bezel sticking out, so you have nothing to stick in to your cutout. You only have, it's not thick enough of the bezel, so you're gonna have problems mounting that. And another way is you can actually drill the holes out for each one. But then again, that's pretty tough too to get a Dremel, and not everybody's gonna want to do that. So the other thing you can do is just drill, a hole big enough for each one, or drill them all out in a big circle for people that are not really good with, and then just slide these over it, and that would be okay too. But I think the best thing would just to drill a hole, drill a hole, drill a hole, drill a hole, big enough to shine the light through. And yeah, you're gonna have to cut out the middle piece to get this on. So it's a little more work to install this voice box than this one. This extension piece, it allows it to slide through the hole that you cut, and then it stops on the little bezel that you can see there. Now this one doesn't have it. So even if I glued it together, there's nothing to slide through. You get that? You guys get me? It's just the mounting design is different. So that one just directly goes onto the dash itself, the voice box area. And this one has a hole cut out that it slides into. So that's one difference. So we can't use this one for this voice box, so get rid of that. What other things do I see here? The message center is not connected to the actual board for some reason, so I gotta connect that. I do see a place for it. There's a screw hole for it, so no biggie. Yeah, it's a pretty good basic set. This is a really nice basic set. If you want to get the set, and you want to get something basic, just to tell you your RPM, your speedo, all that stuff, this will work just fine. There's nothing fancy to it, but I know not a lot of you guys are looking for extremely fancy stuff, so this works if you just want to get the look of the Knight Rider. Anyways, this is gonna blow away any Knight Rider electronics from the show. That none of that stuff worked right. It had switchboards where they flipped the switch to make the lights to go up and stuff. So this is way more functional than anything you saw on the show. It's just there is nicer boards out there. ZA's is going to blow this away, of course, but it's going to be a little more money. Not too much, but a little bit. But some people I know that are building these cars, that little bit of money really counts to them. So it's a pretty good set from Jupiter. I'm pretty impressed with the quality. He has changed the color of this, the backing to red instead of green, and you can see made in Canada. It does say 2013 copyright, which is 4 years old now. I don't know if he had a bulk made and they all say that or what, but it's a fairly new set of his. Only thing I'd recommend, if he does see this video ever, please do yourself a favor, do us a favor, make these boards a little wider. They're just too small height wise. If you get the height going higher, be easier to install. Same with this. I think this is not going to be high enough either. It's probably not going to clear the fiberglass opening for these. So that's a bummer in itself, but I can deal with that. Not the end of the world. You just got to add some extensions on here. And the reason why I use wood is because wood is it's not going to fry your boards. It's not going to like if you use metal, that could fry something in here. Wood is much better to use for that. So check this out. I just opened it from the package, so you see the board design. It's double stacked there. And this one's it's real simple. It's positive and ground. That's it. There's nothing else to hook up on that. That's probably, these three things are going to be the easiest things in the world to plug in, because it's just ground and hot. That's it. Ground and hot. And then you got your inputs on these two boards. That's my only bad review of this thing, is the actual mount holes do not sit high enough. So these boards need to be measured out to be a little bit higher. It could be he does that because it's a universal type of electronics and he wants it to fit different dashes. But I think if you at least raise it up, even a ½ inch higher on both sides, you'd be okay. But yeah, that's my only complaint about it, is because everyone else has made their boards taller where you don't have that issue. Other than that, it seems like a great set. I don't really like the voice box bezel. It's okay, but it just makes it kind of harder to mount. This type of bezel does mount a little bit easier because it's one piece. This one, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but you do have to kind of either fill it in onto the dash with filler and stuff, which I wouldn't want to do that. Easiest way with this type of voice box is just to make up your cutouts for these lead pipes and then just glue this onto the dash with epoxy. I put epoxy at the top and the bottom and just glue it on. And same with this side, and same with the middle piece. And you ain't got much space for epoxy. You're gonna have to just use a little dab on the corners and mount that to the dash, and then of course the voice box mounts from behind the dash. So other than that, the template kind of not the greatest voice box template. The other templates seem okay. Again, I still think these templates, they need to be higher so that you can screw them from higher up. Making them this way just makes you have to mount this to the actual board. You're not able to mount it to the dash L brackets that you use, because there's not enough space. They're too small. I would rather have an extra inch or two and have room to cut off rather than it be too short. And yeah, so that forces you to have to mount these to the actual board itself.